A long walk southwest of Megaton, we find Tenpenny Tower. We came here on 2 occasions, to detonate the bomb in Megaton if we sided with Mr. Burke, and to talk with Tenpenny when doing Mr. Crowley's quest. But the tower has its own story. When we arrive, we see it playing out.
You can tell Tenpenny he can kiss my ass. We've got plenty of bottle caps. Let me in, goddammit.
How many times do we have to go through this? You're not getting in.
I can stand here all day yelling at you through this damn speaker if I have to.
I've already told you Tenpenny won't allow zombies to live here.
Who the hell are you calling a zombie?
You're definitely not human, that's for damn sure. For the last time, no zombies allowed.
Can't you tell the difference between me and a feral? Fine, I'll show you the goddamn difference. Just you wait. You'll get yours, all of you.
Roy Phillips walks away angry. He doesn't really want to talk to us.
What are you looking at?
So instead, we can try to gain access to this tower.
I thought I told you to get the hell out of here. Tenpenny doesn't want your goddamn caps, and I don't want the goddamn headache. For the last time, get your rotten, ugly, goddamn ghoul ass off Mr. Tenpenny's private property.
Is that how you treat all your guests?
What? No, just those damn ghouls. Sorry, thought you were one of them.
I don't think you're talking to the person you think you are.
Oh. Thought you were that damn ghoul. Well then, back to business as usual. Ahem.
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
What? Oh. Sorry about that. I thought you were one of those damn ghouls looking for a handout. You are currently trespassing on Alistair Tenpenny's private property. You have some reason to be here?
I can help take care of that little ghoul problem for you.
Is that so? And why should I believe that? You ever kill a ghoul before?
Oh, I've killed so many ghouls I've stopped counting.
Is that so? Then I'm sure you can handle yourself out there in the wasteland just fine. Are you done wasting my time?
I kill ghouls and rent-a-cops with attitudes who ask too many questions.
Oh, looks like we got a live one here. I think we better leave this one outside. Goodbye, kid. Try not to get eaten by anything out there.
I just want to look around a little. Come on, I won't hurt anybody.
This ain't a theme park, kid. And even if it was, you wouldn't be able to afford the admission. Now bugger off.
Come on, let me in, just for a little while. I won't cause any trouble.
You're not getting in. Stop trying. It's not working. I'm done talking to you. Good luck out there.
Aw, come on, let me in. Pretty please, with sugar on top.
No. Unless by sugar you mean to sweeten my day with, say, a gift of 100 caps.
You won't be getting a bribe from me.
Then you won't be getting past this gate.
Let me in, you bum!
Goodbye.
Maybe you'd accept this 100 caps as insurance of my good behavior.
Perhaps you'll fit in around here better than I thought. All right, I'll take your money. But don't press your luck. I got my eye on you. Don't bother Tenpenny or the other residents. If you so much as sneeze in the wrong direction, I'll gut you.
Alternatively, we can pretend that we have business with the master. I'm here to see Tenpenny.
That's rich. What would a man like Tenpenny want to do with a waste rat like you?
Tenpenny's expecting me. I'm a new tenant.
Nice try, kid. I know everyone who lives here, even the new ones. It's my job, and I take my job very seriously. It's also my job to deal with anyone I consider a threat to Mr. Tenpenny or his property. Feel free to stand there all day. I don't care.
Or we can pass a speech check to say, I have a lucrative offer for Tenpenny. Let me in, or you'll come to regret it.
Just a minute. Let's not be hasty. If Tenpenny is interested in what you have to say, I suppose you should get your chance. Though he normally conducts all his business through Mr. Burke. If Tenpenny doesn't want to talk to you, then you best leave him alone. If you bother Mr. Tenpenny or any of his residents, I will be very glad to forcibly show you out. Do we understand each other? Good.
With that, The rent-a-cop opens the gate.
Welcome to Tenpenny Tower. Don't do anything stupid.
And we learn that his name is Chief Gustavo. Gustavo walks inside, and before we go further, we can explore this walled-in courtyard. Outside, we find tables and chairs set out, with unnamed Tenpenny residents lounging around. Heading round back, we find a firing range with a couple of dummies set out, and disgustingly, we find a men's toilet in a tire on the ground. Ugh. Turning east, we see a staircase leading to a door underground. Inside, we go down another staircase and find ourselves in a small rectangular room. Against the eastern wall, we find an easy-locked terminal. We're going to leave this alone for now. But right next to it, we see a small caged-off window. There is a room beyond. We see steam rising from the floor, and it looks like some sort of large door against the eastern wall. But we don't know what that's for just yet. Behind some fencing, we see two large generators. Must be a utility room for Tenpenny Tower. Heading out, we can continue around the building. We find more guards practicing their aim with some dummies. And at the end of the loop, we find the guards' quarters. 4 beds laid out, a few chairs, and small containers for personal storage. When done, we can head towards the main door to enter Tenpenny Tower. Upon entering, we find ourselves in one of the most resplendent post-war atmospheres in all of the wasteland. We see beautiful glass chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and we find light pouring down from every corner, bathing the residents. Where to begin? We'll start by turning west. We see a closed door to metro access and generator. This leads us to a room with some shelves. We find railway spikes in one, and rounding the corner we find a door that leads to a staircase down to another utility room. All we find here is a wide door called a containment door, and it's locked with a very hard lock. But even if we have a lockpicking skill of 100, we can't open it. We get a message. This door is activated elsewhere. I wonder if this door is the same one we saw in that room we saw on the other side of that cage in the maintenance basement. Perhaps that'll come in handy later, but for now we can head on out and explore this lobby level. Heading through the western door, we find 2 shops here, Café Bean Monde and Boutique Le Chic. Standing behind the counter inside Boutique Le Chic is Lydia Montenegro.
Welcome to Boutique La Chic. I'm Lydia Montenegro, proprietor. Here you'll find only the best, with a price tag you can boast about to your friends.
Whatever.
Just try not to break anything, okay?
This is a store?
You wouldn't know true value if it slapped you in the face.
Nice place you have here.
Your taste in shopping venue is impeccable. How may I assist you?
Are you afraid of the ghouls trying to get into Tenpenny?
If they got in here, they'd get their filth over everything. You can smell them a mile away. I hope they come back and get killed by security.
I make it a point to stay clear of trouble.
Well, I just thought... Never mind.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
You know what? I can handle those ghouls.
Really? Perhaps you can. We'd all be terribly grateful. Chief Gustavo will want to know you're willing to help.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
Tenpenny is a classy place. Just look at me. Look at my shop. Can't find top shelf class like that anywhere else.
We can say nothing.
Not used to civilized discourse, eh? You're from out there in the wasteland, right? You must be pretty tough to survive out there.
Or we can say, this place feels more like a prison than a home.
I've never been in prison, so I wouldn't know. All I know is that I'm safe in here. Out there, you got all kinds of nastiness, like those ghouls.
Good thing the tower was still structurally sound after the war.
Indeed. Though Tenpenny has put a lot of work into restoring it, and he's hired security to keep us safe. But they seem to be having some trouble with a pack of ghouls living in the tunnels nearby. Don't suppose you've encountered many ghouls on your travels?
Ghouls are all right.
What? Have you lost your mind?
When I see a ghoul in the distance, I tend to turn around and go the other way.
Well, that's not very brave, though it's not a bad policy either.
I could kill a ghoul or two if I had to.
I bet you could. Talk to Gustavo. He could use someone like you. You could kill those ghouls in the tunnels. Get rid of them once and for all.
Tell me about Alistair Tenpenny.
He stays in his penthouse suite most of the time. So long as we pay the rent, he lets us live here.
I'd like to do business with you.
My boutique has many unique items for the discerning customer.
Lydia sells quite an array of items. A meager selection of weapons, but a decent selection of armor, including a full suit of combat armor. She has a little bit of everything with some food, chems, and scrap. I'll be going now.
Charming.
She walks off. We can take the opportunity to examine the terminal behind her. Crouching down so as we are not discovered, we see that it's locked with an average lock. After hacking it, however, we only find the option to unlock the wall safe, wherein we find 200 caps. I don't really want to steal from these people just yet, so we'll leave this here for now. Turning south, we can explore Cafe Bean Monde. We find a man standing here drinking some Nuka-Cola named Irving Cheng.
I am Comrade Cheng, beloved leader of the people, shining servant of the community. How can I help you?
What?
Not very bright, are you? Don't worry, comrade. Even the least of us have some small, though important role to play in the community.
People don't need leaders, just good common sense.
But not everyone has common sense, do they? True happiness flows from respecting those in charge, because they have the happiness of the people at heart.
It's nice to meet someone with a sense of civic duty.
Thanks, comrade. I'm sure you'll agree that people are only as strong as their leader. That's why I do my best to serve the community to the fullest. Speaking of service to the community, I don't suppose you are familiar with ghouls, are you? More importantly, how to kill them? I formed a committee to investigate the problem.
Don't worry about those ghouls, comrade. You need to relax.
Perhaps you're right. My wife is always going on about how crazy I make her.
Committees won't help. You need to simply ignore them, or exterminate them.
Well, I'll try not to be bothered then.
It'll take more than a committee to deal with the problem. I think I can help.
That's wonderful, comrade. Truly wonderful. Before you go ghoul hunting, talk to Gustavo. He might be able to help you.
What do you think about the whole situation with the ghouls?
I'm sure it will end in bloodshed. It's serious business, comrade.
Interesting.
That's not the word I'd use for it, comrade.
Perhaps, comrade, the ghouls will join your committee, comrade.
Are you mocking me, comrade?
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
Well, comrade, things are great. The best of the best have made a community here. Well, there is that problem with the ghouls, but I think it'll be solved soon enough.
I'll be going.
Bye.
We see tables out here with food laid out and a kitchen in the back, but we don't find a merchant here. I wonder where the chef is. Maybe we'll find the chef if we return later. Heading out, we can turn north to explore the clinic. This is the wellness center, and it's a pretty large space, littered with all sorts of business clutter. Moving to the east, we see a doctor sitting down, a few tables laid out for patients, and when ready, we can talk with Dr. Banfield.
This is the Tenpenny Wellness Clinic, and I am Dr. Banfield. I keep the residents healthy.
Blah, blah, blah.
You should take more interest in your well-being. Carelessness leads to the spread of disease. Is there something you need?
I hear doctors make a ton of caps.
It isn't cheap to live here. Is there something you want?
Being a doctor is a great service to a community.
Yes. The healing art is a rewarding occupation. Is there something I can help you with?
Know much about those ghouls?
My current theory is that the destructive disease of the ghoul condition will always eventually render him little more than a mindless killer. The proverbial wasteland zombie with a predilection for raw human flesh. They can't be cured, and there's nothing to alleviate the symptoms. All in all, it seems rather sad, really.
Yep.
If you don't mind, I have some things to attend to.
I don't suppose you've consulted any ghouls on your little theory?
Well, not exactly, but my colleagues have published papers. I suppose someone ought to verify their findings. Perhaps I'll do that. Who knows? I might even finally get published.
I can take care of this problem once and for all.
I wish you luck. You'll want to talk to Chief Gustavo first. He may be able to lend you a soldier or two.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
People are healthy here. They eat well and have a strong roof over their head.
Sure. Whatever you say, Doc.
If you don't mind, I have better things to do. Like fixing up some pills to keep the residents bolstered against whatever diseases those ghouls bring with them when they bang on the gate.
It must be nice having patients who can pay their medical bills, huh?
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply, but it's no crime to be paid for doing work. Tenpenny charges me rent too, you know. In a perfect world, health care would be free. But since you've traveled through the wastes out there, you know it's not a perfect world, is it? Take those ghouls out there. Tenpenny won't let them live here. Sure, it's a little sad, but that decision is keeping people in here safe and sound.
I'm a little shocked by how healthy everyone is.
Tenpenny is very selective about who he allows to live here. The correct genes and living conditions make for a relatively disease-free environment. Clean water is still a concern, of course, but we've got enough chems to keep the radiation sickness at bay. That's why he won't allow those ghouls to live here. Why introduce a weakness into a healthy system?
Sure, they look a little weird, but they're not diseased vermin.
Well, I guess I must confess, I've never examined a ghoul up close. You're right. I shouldn't make assumptions.
It's a good thing those walls are so high.
Yeah, it's what keeps those ghouls from coming in.
I shoot ghouls first and ask questions later.
I wasn't meaning to imply they should be slaughtered, though I suppose these days that might be the best solution.
Tell me about Alistair Tenpenny.
He's the landlord, although you hardly ever see him. I had to treat him once for bed sores, if you know what I mean. Wait, don't tell him I said that.
I'd like to do business with you.
I have some first aid supplies I can sell.
Dr. Banfield has a small selection of chems, but quite a lot of them, at least Stimpaks and Medex. Heading out of the clinic, we can go back down the hallway and this time travel east across the lobby. Here we find a woman in a pink dress sitting in a green leather chair. This is Susan Lancaster.
What have we here? A lost little girl? Do you have permission to be in here? If not, you should leave before it gets ugly.
From my perspective, things can't get much uglier than they already are.
Are you calling me ugly? Nice try. I got a pile of bottle caps that say otherwise.
We can say nothing.
Can't find your tongue? Maybe one of those ghouls got it. Didn't your mother tell you never to kiss a ghoul? Seriously, though, you better watch out. There's a pack of those vermin hiding in some tunnels nearby.
Or we can say, I'm not lost, and I'm not a little girl, and I'm not that bad. We could be friends.
You've got a lot of nerve talking to me like that. But I can respect a woman who doesn't put up with crap. Think you're tough enough to take on a couple of ghouls?
Ghouls aren't so bad once you get to know them.
That's just what I thought. You're a scared little girl.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of ghouls.
Neither am I. I came here to get away from all that. Something tells me you're a pretty tough chick. You made it in from the wasteland after all. We could really use your help around here.
I'm no stranger to violence, if that's what you're getting at.
Now you're talking. I've met a couple tough broads like you before. You might be just what we need around here. Chief Gustavo and his pack of goons aren't doing their job. Those ghouls keep coming back. Somebody's bound to get hurt sooner or later.
Those ghouls sure have people worked up, don't they?
Are you going to do something about the problem or not?
We can again say nothing.
You're a bit of a loser, aren't you?
Or we can say, yeah, about that. I'm not really in the ghoul extermination business.
I was hoping we could get along. What was I thinking?
I'll take care of those ghouls. Stop worrying about it.
We might get to be friends after all. You're not so bad.
What's it like living in Tenpenny Tower?
Beats living out there in the wasteland, trust me. See, I'm not like these other puffed-up fogies. I earned my way into privilege. I worked to get here.
I've got to go now.
Yeah, goodbye.
We walk away with a distinct impression about what Susan Lancaster had to do to work her way into here. Nearby, we find another shop called New Urban Apparel. Inside, we find quite a selection of pre-war clothing on display, including a bunch of hats, and we find the proprietor, Anthony Ling, behind the counter.
Welcome to New Urban Apparel. I carry the finest in pre-war clothes. Hurry up, let's get you out of those old rags and into something fabulous.
Something fabulous, eh? Whatever.
Look, If you don't care about yourself, then no one else will. And nothing says I love me better than a fabulous new look. Am I right? I'm right.
You got a problem with the way I dress?
Fine. Keep wearing that trashy outfit. I don't care. You probably couldn't afford to upgrade your look anyway. I could have made you fabulous.
You really think you can improve my look?
With my fashion sense and your bottle caps, there's no limit to what we can do for your image. I can't wait to get started.
Are you worried about those ghouls?
They were told they can't live here, but those zombies are too stupid to understand. They live in their own filth, squatting in the nearby metro tunnel. Security keeps shooting them, but they keep coming back.
It's only a matter of time.
I suppose it is, isn't it?
I'll go tell them that there's nothing here worth dying over.
What are you suggesting by that? I don't think I like your tone.
I might be able to solve this problem.
You're certainly welcome to try, aren't you? Talk to Chief Gustavo.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
Only those deserving to live here can afford it. And let me tell you, those who do live in style.
Blah, blah, blah.
You're in definite need of an attitude adjustment. Like those god-awful ghouls scrabbling at the gate all the time. Someone must do something to get rid of those vermin once and for all.
I bet people are dying to live here. You're all lucky you can afford it.
People are dying to get in here, like those dirty ghouls. Or at least they should be dying. Security has got to get their act together. But luck has nothing to do with it. We deserve this, all of it. Not everyone is as smart, as pretty, or as wealthy as the cream of the crop. Don't blame me. Blame Mother Nature. Survival of the fittest. It's the game of life. We're the winners, and those ghouls, they are definitely losers.
I've noticed the quality of living is rather high here, isn't it?
And you can thank me for that. I'm the resident guide to all things fabulous. And I'll tell you what isn't ever in style, disgusting ghouls getting their rotting paws all over everything.
What do you have against ghouls, anyway?
That's a silly question. What I have against ghouls is that they are ghouls.
Most ghouls are in need of a serious makeover, huh? Am I right?
You bet. But who would dare touch them to give it to them?
The only good place for a ghoul is at the end of a rope.
Wow. You're a brutal thing, aren't you? You're right, of course. You should offer to help Gustavo and his troopers in fighting those ghouls.
Tell me about Alistair Tenpenny.
A very well-dressed gentleman when he bothers to get dressed. He hardly ever leaves his penthouse suite.
I'd like to do business with you.
I only carry the finest garments.
If by finest garments he includes dirty clothes, because that's what he sells. He also sells combat armor, and to his credit, he does have a wide selection of pre-war clothing. I'll be going now, Anthony.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta, indeed. Crouching down, we can hack into his average locked terminal, but if we are successful, the only option we have is to unlock his wall safe. Heading out from here, we can go south. This is the Federalist Lounge. We find a bunch of people walking around. First, we'll talk with Tiffany Chang, sitting on this couch.
My name is Tiffany Cheng. My miserable excuse for a husband is Comrade Irving Cheng. And you can tell him I said so.
Whatever.
Is there something you want? If not, I'm busy telling my neighbors to ignore my husband and his silly committee to discuss the ghoul situation.
Isn't a wife supposed to honor and obey her husband?
You try being married to my husband for 5 minutes. I dare you. I'd rather live with those ghouls. Well, okay, not really, but still.
You put up with a lot from your husband, huh?
Do you know he tried forming a committee to discuss the ghoul situation? A committee! He made himself chairman, of course. What we need is somebody to do something, not just talk about it. Don't suppose you know anything about ghouls, do you?
Stop worrying about those ghouls.
I wish I could. I get nightmares from time to time.
I've dealt with enough ghouls to know I don't ever want to see one again.
Yeah, they make me nervous. They certainly are disturbing looking.
You know anything about those ghouls?
They're living in the nearby tunnels. They scare me. Why doesn't somebody do something?
It's only natural to be afraid of the unknown.
Perhaps you're right, but I prefer to keep my nightmares a fantasy and not test my luck with the real thing. Thank you very much.
Whatever.
I wish I was as unconcerned as you.
Don't worry, I'll take care of the problem.
Really? Chief Gustavo is going to want to hear about that. You should talk to him right away.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
It's very clean and safe here. Well, mostly safe. They say those ghouls won't get in, but I don't know.
I've got to go now.
Oh, all right. See you.
Nearby, we find Michael Hawthorne sitting in a chair next to a billiard table with a bottle of whiskey nearby.
I'm Michael Hawthorne. Who are you? And more importantly, should I care?
We can say nothing.
I'm glad to meet someone who doesn't want to talk my ear off. We should get a drink together. I hate when people talk while I'm drinking. Don't you? And there's plenty to talk about, isn't there? Everyone's always prattling on about the ghouls this and the ghouls that. Frankly, I'm getting fed up with all this ghoul talk. How about you?
Or we can say, I'm your worst nightmare.
Well, then you'll excuse me if I don't invite you to share a drink. Really, you're as much fun as a couple of ghouls. They're trying to get in here, you know.
I am nobody in particular, but I'm sure you'll soon come to like me.
Oh, fine. We'll have to share a drink sometime. I'm always in the Federalist Lounge. There's certainly plenty to drink about. Take those ghouls, for example. Don't suppose you know anything about dealing with their kind, do you?
Look, I know enough about ghouls not to hate them.
Oh, I see. Well, I've never met one, so I wouldn't know. I just always thought. I guess I really don't know what I thought.
Let's just say I never met a ghoul I liked.
They do seem a bit antisocial, don't they? Though perhaps if we got them good and liquored up.
You could say I'm an expert when it comes to dealing with ghouls.
Really? Fantastic. You can give that Gustavo a lesson or two.
I don't suppose you know much about these ghouls, do you?
We haven't discussed this already? Apparently, there's a pack of zombies living in the tunnels. Gustavo says he has it under control. On the bright side, it's given me another reason to hit the drink.
Cheers.
We shall simply have to ignore them until they bugger off.
You ever wonder if maybe you drink too much?
Look around. What else is there to do?
I might be able to help you with your ghoul problem.
Yeah? Talk to Gustavo. He may wish to employ your assistance.
What's it like living in Tenpenny Tower?
Well, it's a great place to live. If you don't mind ghouls breathing down your neck.
I'll be going.
Right on.
Well, that's one way to live out the apocalypse. The bartender is a robot named Shakes.
Welcome to the Federalist Lounge. I'm Shakes. Wet your whistle?
He has the same response to both of the bottom options. We can say, I hate robots.
I see, sir. Very well. May I pour you a drink?
Tell me about Alistair Tenpenny.
He is the right Lord and Master of Tenpenny Tower. Or at least that's what my files say.
I'm thirsty.
I have an excellent selection of thirst quenchers.
He sells scotch, whiskey, wine, and Stimpaks. But if we crouch down and hack an easy-locked lounge computer on the bar, we find an option to change his prices. We can give him a 10% holiday discount or set up a 50% VIP discount. When we go back and inspect his prices,
A very special welcome to you, ma'am.
I'm thirsty.
And what will our most distinguished guest be having today?
We see that the prices have gone down, depending on the choice we made. Heading out, we can go north down the hallway. Here we just find the male and female restrooms. But since this place is so spick and span and sparkling clean, we don't find anything here. Instead, I wanted to see if that cafe owner was back. Heading back to Cafe Bean Monde, we see people wandering around behind the counter, helping themselves to the food, but no chef here. I wanted to track this chef down, so going up the stairs, we can turn right and open the first door we find. This is one of the residents' private quarters, and we find the owner sleeping on a bed. This is Margaret Primrose.
You're new around here. I'm Margaret Primrose. I run the Café Beau Monde. Stop by sometime.
Oh, there's the chef. I wonder why she's sleeping during the day. Those ghouls must have you stressed out too, huh?
Chief Gustavo assures us that he's increased the number of the security team and will kill any zombies on sight.
We can say nothing.
Those ghouls got you scared too, huh?
Or we can say, I wonder if ghouls will like your cooking.
I hope I don't have to find out, though. Everyone loves my cooking.
I might be able to do something.
Really? Well, that'd be wonderful. Talk to Chief Gustavo about it.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
It's a great place to live. I've always dreamed of giving people fresh meals and a place to relax and enjoy a good conversation or two. Tenpenny gave me a place to do that. I'm greatly indebted to him for that.
Whatever.
You're lucky they even let you in here. I'm surprised they did, since it will only encourage those ghouls who want to live here.
Not everyone is as lucky as you.
Lucky? Perhaps I should feel lucky, but really, we've all worked hard to get what we have. I think it's fair to say we deserve to live here. Those ghouls, on the other hand, they think they can just take whatever they want. Well, they have to earn the right to live here.
Running a cafe can't be easy.
Indeed. Everyone who lives here has worked hard to get here. That's why we can't just let those ghouls in. They demand the right to live here, but what have they done to prove themselves worthy?
I think they've proven something just staying alive in that condition.
I guess I never thought of it that way. It's probably really hard just living day to day like that. Now I feel a little ashamed.
Yeah, I wouldn't want ghouls living here either.
There must be something we can do.
The only thing a ghoul should have to prove is how fast it can die.
That's rather extreme, though near enough to the truth. Talk to Gustavo. He might be able to use you in the fight against the ghouls.
Tell me about Alistair Tenpenny.
Every day it's the same thing. The man has no imagination with his meals. But it's his building, so every day I make that damned iguana bit sandwich, no salt, with a peeled pear on the side. Send it up to the penthouse.
Can I get something to eat?
What are you in the mood for?
She works as a vendor even if she is not behind the counter, and we see that she just has a wide selection of food, including booze and Nuka-Cola. I'll be going now.
Don't be a stranger to the cafe.
And with that, she walks off towards her cafe. Guess she just needed a good wake-up call. Well, let's head out and explore the perimeter of this ledge first. The next door we find opens to the east. It's a small bedroom with one bed in the corner, but we have no indication as to who sleeps here. Moving around the ledge, we can open the first door to the west. We find another bedroom. This must be the doctor's. We see x-rays on the wall. Heading out and continuing north, we find more Tenpenny residents wandering around.
We are safe from the wasteland in here.
And we can open the next door to the west. This leads to another bedroom with clothing on the shelves. I'm thinking this must belong to Anthony. Heading out, we find a staircase leading to a door, bringing us to the Tenpenny Suites. I wanted to see what was on the other end of the hallway, so heading back down and going around, we see that this staircase also leads to the Tenpenny Suites. Alright, so that's two doors that lead to the same set of suites. We see that the suite level is one big loop. We'll start by going to the left. We find a door to the east, leading to another bedroom, and here we find a copy of Tales of a Junktown Jerky vendor lying on a desk. Heading out and turning south, we can open the next door. This one has empty booze bottles on the bed and all over. I'm betting this one belongs to Michael. Heading out and continuing west, we find a little snack corner with an Etotronic and a Nuka-Cola machine. There's some Mentats in the Etotronic, but I really don't want to steal from these people just yet. Continuing west, we find another door to the south, but no one's here and it's sparsely decorated, so we don't get an idea about who might live here. Finishing this loop, we find a door with a mailbox outside. This is the home of Herbert Daring Dashwood. We find him sitting in a chair next to his bed. Dashwood is a fascinating character involved in an unmarked side quest, which I completed in a dedicated video bearing his name, which you can watch here. Since I explored most of his dialogue options in that video, I'll only explore the ones pertinent to Tenpenny Tower itself.
Herbert Dashwood, damn glad to meet you. Call me Daring. Everyone else does.
What's it like living in Tenpenny Tower?
Well, until recently, the only danger you ever faced in this fine establishment was bumping into all the bloated egos floating around. But now there's a group of ghouls nearby. I've tried explaining that they don't all want to eat you, though some do, of course. Problem is, it's hard to tell which is which. Chief Gustavo has initiated a shoot first and ask later policy. If they're smart, they'll stay away.
I bet you know a thing or two about ghouls.
Some ghouls moved into the nearby metro tunnel. There's a bunch of the so-called feral ghouls in there, but a handful seem the sociable type. I've tried explaining to my fellow tenants that not all ghouls are monsters, but they don't seem to care. The intelligent ones should stay away from our trigger-happy protectors. If there are enough feral ones, though, they could overwhelm security.
Sure, whatever you say.
Don't care? You might one day.
Better let the young folks handle things, old-timer.
Your lucky old men learn patience, but keep pushing your luck, and I'll teach you a thing or two.
I can take care of this school situation, no problem.
Aha! An adventurous soul like myself. If I wasn't retired, I might come with you myself.
I'll be going now.
Go make a name for yourself.
Finally, someone who at least recognizes the pompousness of the other residents here. With that, we complete a loop of the suites. Heading back downstairs, we can see if we missed anyone. Sure enough, we find a couple lingering in the staircase. First, we'll talk with Millicent Wellington.
Introductions are in order. I am Mrs. Edgar Wellington. You may refer to me as Madam or my Lady Wellington.
Sure, whatever.
Just as I thought. The end of the world happens and everyone forgets their manners. I bet you were raised in one of those vault things. Ah! Or worse, raised by a pack of disgusting ghouls.
Oh, look, another stuck-up jerk. How impressive.
Tisk tisk. You were raised by beasts, weren't you? Poor thing. Did those ghouls send you here to torment us civilized folk? Seriously, though, they have everyone on edge. So mind your manners.
It's very nice to meet you, my Lady Wellington.
You're better mannered than your apparent breeding would indicate. It is nice to make your acquaintance. You didn't happen to catch a glimpse of any ghouls on your way in here, did you?
I'd rather spend time with ghouls than some other people I know.
I do hope you're not referring to me. I'm certainly a better conversationalist than some stupid ghoul. And I smell better, too.
I don't like ghouls any more than you do.
Perhaps you're smarter than appearances credit.
I'm not afraid of ghouls.
That doesn't surprise me. You should talk to Gustavo. He might be able to use someone like you.
Have you heard anything interesting about the ghouls?
Again with the ghouls! It's all anyone will gossip about. I can't help thinking about them doing things to us. Let's talk about something else.
That's interesting.
It's more than just interesting. It's positively horrible.
It's pretty sad, isn't it? Not being the center of everyone's attention.
What? Why, I do believe you are being quite rude. Goodbye.
I can take care of your little problem for you.
Really? How? Wait, I don't really want to know. It probably entails something wickedly awful. Just talking about it will give me the jeepers. Chief Gustavo will want to know you will help. He might even be able to offer you something for your troubles.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
Things haven't been the same since those ghouls showed up. Has everyone on edge.
I'll be going now.
Don't be a stranger.
And then we can talk with her husband, Edgar Wellington II.
Edgar Wellington II. Have you met my wife, Millicent? Hold on. Who let you in here?
We can say nothing.
Someone needs to talk to Tenpenny. I don't think security should let people like you just wander in like that. We all need to be more vigilant with those ghouls on the loose.
Or we can joke and say, oh, I jumped over the walls when no one was looking. How do you think I got in here?
There's no need to get snippy with me, girl. We're all a little perturbed because of those ghouls.
Don't worry, I was let in at the front gate.
Very well, as long as security is aware of your presence. Can't be too careful these days, what with these ghouls and all. Gustavo says he has the situation well in order, but I wonder if he's really trying. Don't suppose you ran into any ghouls on your way in here?
I don't consider ghouls to be a problem, if that's what you're asking.
Then you obviously don't know anything about ghouls.
I've seen a lot of ghouls, hated every last one of them.
Indeed, loathsome creatures, aren't they? Someone really ought to put them out of their misery.
I eat ghouls for breakfast.
Oh my. It sounds like you might be just the person we need to take care of the situation. Talk to Gustavo.
Do you know anything useful about the ghouls?
There's a pack of zombies living nearby in some old tunnel. They asked to move in, naturally. They were told to go to hell. Gustavo's hired some additional goons. Seems to be working. Still makes one a bit fidgety having those loathsome creatures around. I wouldn't even want them as slaves.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Thanks.
You ever wonder what those ghouls think of you and your snobby friends?
Well, I just remembered I have something important to do. Goodbye.
I might be able to take care of your unwanted neighbors.
Really? Well, it's your funeral, I suppose.
What's it like living at Tenpenny Tower?
It's the place to live, the only place one finds any modicum of civilization and breeding. Of course those ghouls are trying to move in here. Can you fancy that? Disgusting zombies living in a place like this? Really now?
I've got to go now.
Farewell.
With that, we've talked with nearly everyone. Well, except for Gustavo here, whom everyone wants us to chat with, and the master of the tower, Tenpenny himself. To find the man, we head to the elevator behind Gustavo. This brings us to the penthouse, but before we move very far, a guard takes us aside.
Mr. Tenpenny isn't taking callers.
Do you know when I can see Mr. Tenpenny?
Unsolicited callers are not generally welcome. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Or we can pass a speech check to say, I'm here to see Mr. Tenpenny. But if you weren't so incompetent, you'd know that.
Hold on there a minute. Oh, all right, I'll let you in, but if Tenpenny hollers because he isn't expecting you, you're dead.
We can now explore freely, but before going into his room, we'll explore some of these others. We find a room to the southeast. These must be where the upper echelon residents live. They are large, and every room has a purpose: an office, a kitchen, a dining room, a bedroom. But we don't see any residents here. We must have already talked to them. Heading out and turning west, we find another room with 2 separate bedrooms. In one bedroom, we see a table covered in pencils and a terminal on the wall. This is Chang's personal computer. Ah, so this belongs to the Chang couple. Inside, we find 2 entries. The first, rebuilding proposal. We find a quote from a Chinese communist ruler. We excel at destroying the old world, and we excel at building a new one. 200 years ago, Chairman Chang led his armies to defeat the decadent rulers of this land. Now, his humble descendant, Comrade Chang, shall lead its noble people to rebuild a brighter land in its place. By uniting to work together, we can eradicate the twin dangers of lawlessness and disease. With unified soldiers, we can cleanse the land of beasts and highwaymen. With organized farmers, we can overcome starvation and poverty. When competing villages are destroyed, all must unite under the glorious leadership of Comrade Chang and the Tenpenny Commune. Well, this guy seems to be suffering under the delusion that China was not also devastated in the nuclear apocalypse of 2077, and that he is somehow related to the guy. He doesn't look Chinese, and China's a long ways away. How can he possibly explain the real Chang having ever been to Washington, D.C.? The guy is a loony. In the next one, we find an option to read a daily affirmation. Today's affirmation is, hold aloft the red lantern. Great. I bet you will find a little red book in his closet. Heading out and turning left, we find a door to the Tenpenny Tower suite, which requires a key. This is our player home, if we sided with Mr. Burke during his quest. I did a video on the Tenpenny Tower suite, which you can watch here. When done, we can finally enter Alistair Tenpenny's personal quarters. We find a garden in the middle of this room and a door leading to an outside balcony. Here we see a beautiful view of the wasteland, and sitting in some chairs, playing chess, are Mr. Burke and Alistair Tenpenny. If instead of destroying Megaton, we chose to defuse the bomb, Mr. Burke is not pleased to see us.
So, you're the genius who disarmed the bomb. Weeks of waiting and watching ruined. It's a pity you acted so hastily. In the future, best sleep with one eye open.
Hello. Can't stop to chat just now.
Well, tough luck, Alistair. We're gonna chat. But he doesn't have a lot to say. We can say, tell me about yourself, Mr. Tenpenny.
Oh, it's impolite for a gentleman to talk about himself, but I'd hope this magnificent tower would speak volumes.
Quite a tower you have here, Mr. Tenpenny.
Some might say that Tenpenny Tower is my crowning achievement, but no, my dear girl, it is just the beginning.
All right, I'll be going.
Good day.
He doesn't say much now, but he sure has a lot to say later. We'll be back. Exploring his personal suite, he's got a huge room dedicated to the bath. And looks like Mr. Tenpenny is suffering from some sort of ailment. There's a little bit of blood in the bath. He's got a majestic bedroom, and on his office desk, we find a tiny model of the Corvega Atomic V8 and a copy of Lying Congressional Style. I'm not going to steal this just yet, but we'll bear it in mind for later. With that, we fully explore the penthouse suites. This leaves only one person left to interview, and that is Chief Gustavo himself. Heading on over behind the counter, we can chat him up.
What?
What's it like living in Tenpenny Tower?
Tenpenny is always on time with the money, and we get fairly comfortable digs with side benefits.
Tell me about Alistair Tenpenny.
He owns this building. We get our caps from him, and don't you forget it.
Have you got an armament supply? Want to do some trade?
I guess we could do a little trading. Here's what I got.
Gustavo is a pretty decent weapons and armor vendor with a wide selection, including flamers and missile launchers. He has combat armor and also a radiation suit, great place to snag one if we don't have one already, and quite a selection of ammunition. Hey, how's that ghoul situation coming along?
That damn Roy Phillips won't take no for an answer. Keep showing up, looking for a handout. He and his kind aren't wanted. End of story. If I were a betting man, I'd place a stack of caps on him trying something violent soon. And that would make Tenpenny nervous. I don't like it when Tenpenny gets nervous. But I can't spare the manpower to go hunt down Roy Phillips and his band of misfits, or I'd gladly end this thing once and for all.
What the heck is a ghoul anyway? Some kind of diseased human?
You serious? You don't know what a ghoul is? A goddamn disaster waiting to happen, that's what they are. Sure, maybe you can get over the fact that they look like someone took a cheese grater to their face. But it's what you don't see that's the problem. The radiation slowly eats away their brain. Then they go zombie on you. It's better for everyone to kill them before all that, if you ask me.
I'm going to find a non-violent solution to your ghoul problem.
That's a laugh. Roy Phillips can't be reasoned with. Trust me. But go ahead and try and talk some sense into him. It's your funeral.
Have you even tried talking to the ghouls? I bet you can work something out.
Tenpenny doesn't care how big their pile of bottle caps is. He won't let ghouls live here. Those ghouls need to give up and go bother someone else.
Whatever. It's not really any of my business.
No, but perhaps it might be.
You're all bigots!
Your bleeding heart is liable to get you in a lot of trouble one day. Look, kid, eventually all ghouls go zombie on your ass. It's only a matter of time. Kill them when you find them. It's a win-win. You put them out of their misery and save someone else from getting torn apart.
Yeah, ghouls are too much trouble.
That's right. You never know when they'll go zombie on your ass. Perhaps you're smarter than you look.
Perhaps the residents could be persuaded to let the ghouls live here.
You're out of line. Those filthy bitches can stay living in those metro tunnels. They'll move in here over my dead body.
That can be arranged. You don't look like much.
Are you threatening me? You're obviously an idiot, so I'll let that one slide. But I'm warning you, I won't hesitate to kill you if I have to.
We'll see.
Whatever.
I was just kidding. Ghouls are filthy creatures that should be slaughtered.
Quite right. You're not such a moron after all.
I can help with your ghoul problem. Where are they hiding out?
Really? You? You're welcome to give it a try. But don't come crying to me when you get hurt. They've holed up in the nearby metro tunnels. They're living with packs of feral ghouls. Be careful. Roy seems damn close to turning zombie himself. I suppose you won't be doing this out of the kindness of your heart, How's 500 bottle caps sound? Payable upon termination of that damn ghoul, Roy Phillips, and all his followers.
Sure, sounds good, but I would have done it for free.
Yeah, right. Good luck, soldier. I'm not coming after you to rescue your ass if you get in trouble. You're on your own.
All right, I'll take the money, and any other help you can offer.
Here, you can take this rifle and ammo, but don't waste it shooting at shadows.
Or we can pass a speech check to say you want this problem resolved or not. You can spare more than that.
Well, maybe you're right. It was something I was going to have to do eventually anyway. How about another 200 caps? And here, you can take this rifle and ammo. But you better not screw this up. Roy Phillips and his gang are somewhere in Warrington Station metro tunnels. They've barred the main entrance. Try going through the train yard.
With that, we begin the quest, Tenpenny Tower. And now we need to track down the ghouls. We see that the quest marker points us towards some train tracks to the west. We can leave the tower to head that way. But this is a bit of a moral dilemma. Gustavo and most of these residents want the ghouls dead, but as we learned, some of the residents don't really want a violent confrontation. Gustavo seems to think that there is no peaceful solution. But is that true? Is Roy Phillips really an unreasonable man? The only way to find out is to head to the train tracks, enter the metro tunnels, and track him down to ask him, which we will do in tomorrow's video. I publish a new video 6 days a week on a wide range of topics spanning all of the Fallout games, so if you want to make sure that you don't miss my next episode, including the next chapter to the story, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. I've got a brand new shirt in the shop, folks. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. We've got a beautiful image of a two-headed bear charging forward. The shirt comes with 2 quotes, the other one being, "We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that." The shirt also comes in another variant with the red California star. I have a whole bunch of other designs, and you can find my shirts in a wide array of colors and in a variety of sizes. If interested, you can find a link to the shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, with episode 2.